Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good. Well, welcome back, guys. It's been a long time. Good morning. I don't know what I was doing there. I think I was wondering like a good morning, but I just wasn't feeling it. Hey, I am ready to get to trading. This is some of the most active trading of the year, although note that things are going to be a little restrained until that non-farms payroll on Friday. So there's going to be some interesting next few days trading. Let's go straight to the charts and let's show you what you're looking at. So while we were gone, there was some pretty aggressive sells here in the treasuries. 3 days of selling. It just went and went and went, and they took us well below the level that we were before that bullish Brookings event that Powell did a couple of weeks ago. You know, so you can see here the level that we're at from that. Oh, you know what? It's not even showing you. It's not even showing you the right window. It's all screwed up. What's with that? There we go. There we go. Wait, so if I come over to here, is that right? Okay, that one's right. Okay. See, we were below Brookings. Now here, this morning, we're pushing back up. There was some positive inflation news from Germany this morning. S&P 500, on the other hand, incredibly range bound. I'm sure that anybody trading that over the break had some fun, but it was mostly chop and death. Okay, here this morning, oil doing okay. Gold and silver looking bullish. Copper. So the big wild card here, I think, is China reopening. Does China reopening lead to inflation? Some people say yes. That's probably why we were getting the selling in the treasuries over the weekend. That's where we're at. Then coming back out and going into the dollar. The dollar seeing a strong impulse this morning back to 104, which is kind of where it's been for a while. So maybe not a huge deal. Bitcoin, I mean, it's done things, but we're still below 1700. All right. So that's where we're at. I think, well, let's just kind of wait here. I've got a couple of things to do here. First thing, we've got to switch over our micro treasury yield futures. So let's just check over here. We got everything going well. We got some viewers. Good deal. Okay. So first thing, let's switch over the micro yields. Yeah. UYY. Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna have to update my. I'm just gonna come over to this screen so you can see my face. Looks like I have to update my instruments. So do that real quick. So the treasuries are moving here. It's not like super strong volume and the liquidity is a little weak, but it's doing something. Music is probably too loud, huh? This feels nice though. But I will turn it down. Some good bass on that track. Okay, let's see if that fixed it. No, it's not showing me 2023. What's wrong? Did I not update the right one? Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I did CME, not CBOT. No, that's not it. Okay. There we go. January. One, two, three. Good. January. Twenty-three. Okay, so we're good there. And give it a little bit of time here. Wow, so the January, man. Wait, do I have that right? It's F. Yep. Oh, yep, because February is G. I'm not liking that liquidity, so I guess we have to sit tight here. Okay, next thing is we need to update somebody's license, so let's do that. What's the best broker for trading oil futures? Well, I don't think that there's anything about oil that makes any futures broker, you know, changes the calculus for you in terms of which futures broker to choose. So in terms of picking a futures broker, the first thing I recommend is, you know, what platform do you want to use? I mean, if you don't care, then I guess you can go with anything. You know, for instance, if you want to use NinjaTrader is really popular, probably the best charting application. You know, it's not perfect, but I really like it. Then you're probably going to be using NinjaTrader brokerage, and that's just the way it is, right? Yeah. So NinjaTrader 8, and are you in the United States? So that's the next thing is, no, you are not in the United States. Okay, where are you at? Canada, Europe? I'm not sure what they do Croatia. So I think that for Croatia, you're still going to be, excuse me. I think that you're still going to be NinjaTrader brokerage. So NinjaTrader kind of locks you into their brokerage. Like, they've made it really hard for you to use it with anything else. So if that's what you want to use, then you want to look at NinjaTrader brokerage. I think, yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's weird. Oh, really? It's still going. It's still ticking down here. let's see here. So I updated to go till long time. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been a lifetime, hasn't it? I don't know if did you guys get much done for the break? I did okay. The important thing was I got my Ninja Trader tips and tricks video done, and it was a lot of work. Oh my gosh, this video. So I got 24 Ninja Trader tips. Some of them are, I don't know. Like there's like a wide collection of them. Some of them are really advanced tips. Some of them are really basic tips. I wouldn't say it's not like a getting started with Ninja Trader sort of video per se, but it's got a ton of information in it, and it took me a super long time to put together. Like we'd been collecting tips for a couple of like months now, and then took me a couple of mornings to like write it all out, recorded it, then I had to go and record all of the B-roll footage for it. It's probably not perfect. There was something, I don't know, after I recorded the video, like I noticed there was like something on my forehead that I missed. I don't know if it was like my scalp was too dry or something like that, but anyways, it's all good. I think it was a good video. So that's gonna come out at 9:30 Eastern time today, like normal. And we'll see. It kind of excites me because that's one of those videos that like could be the most important video on the channel. You know what I mean? Like the best performing video on the channel, rather. So I'm kind of excited to see how it goes out. I have to decide what I want the next video to be. I'm still working on the PDF. I did some work on the PDF. It's kind of the problem that I'm at right now is that a lot of the stuff that I put in the PDF are things that we talk about here on the stream every day. And I feel like I have a good pitch for, you know, whereas the parts that I'm writing right now are kind of the more neglected parts that we don't talk about as much. So I'm still figuring out what the words I want to use for that is, but it's close. It's close. Do you use Quant Tower? Quant Tower's not bad. I really like Quant Tower for one reason, in that they were the ones that kind of came in and were like, we're going to give you this full platform really cheap. Once Quant Tower came out and started doing stuff like that, the overall space got really, really competitive. Of course, the leaders like Ninja Trader, Jigsaw, Trading Technology didn't really change their business at all. But all of the smaller guys all kind of moved over to something where you can get the platform for super cheap monthly fee, or frankly even free with some brokers. So I really liked that about Quant Tower, and I did get the opportunity to go through it and look at it and stuff. So I think it's a pretty okay platform. I gotta tell you, like, it always drives me crazy when I think about it, is I don't like these trading applications written on Java. I kind of feel like if you're going to make a desktop application and you're going to use a managed memory application, you should really do it in C#. And or you're just, you're not going to you want to manage the memory and everything yourself and do something that's really, really performant. And the only ones that have ever tried to do that is Sierra Chart. It just really bothers me. I would really like to see a platform done in Rust. Man, if you can pull me together some investors, and we can put together a team to write a platform in Rust, I think that'd be so cool. You'd be able to program in Rust and Python and have the scripts be Python. That'd be so, I think that would be like game changing. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, so I only ate half of my breakfast, so now I'm gonna eat this. They didn't continue down. They're kind of reversing back up here at 27. I would say I'm a little bit worried about taking it as a reversal because there was a reasonable amount of autocorrelation to the downside in the cumulative delta. I mean, they were selling it, so if they were to reverse here, that would be a little bit of a jolting reversal. Maybe this is the reversal, though. I don't have any information to tell me that it would be. Only that I'm a little bit more interested in the upside in the treasuries at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see. Today, I tell you, today is the interesting day because they try and set the tone for the whole year, man. Try and set the tone for the whole year. When the S&P 500 comes up here, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get involved in that battle, whether it's up or down. There's probably big interests on both sides, but you know, we give them a little bit of time, maybe 15-20 minutes to see which side is winning, and then we can kind of take you know, we can kind of take inventory of what's going on. So before I eat here, I'll just come back over to the charts, look at a couple of things at the moment. So you can see here the treasuries kind of came back to the buyer's cost basis. Now they're finding a little bit of support. Isn't that interesting? You see that right there? Come on. It's not, for some reason, it's not following my mouse. There we go. Okay, you see how it came right? Oh, what? Oh, it's only following on this screen. Ah, that's so frustrating. Okay, you see how it just came right back to that little blue line? So they went right to their cost basis and bounced. I'm not saying that predicts anything or that line is predictive. I do not use technical analysis of any form, but it does kind of tell you a little something about what happened, right? Was kind of that move was based more on what the market maker is doing than anything else. That tells us something about the market, right? Might mean we might not want to get as involved here, okay? Also, when it comes to the spreads, we are flattening a little bit. You can see those spreads coming down. So there's that. S&P 500 not showing a whole lot of trend or anything. It's just kind of going sideways. And coming back over here, the dollar on the downside, coming back to 104. Hey, good morning, Ryan. Okay, so I got something coming through on Twitter from Jake Sherman, our main guy in Washington. GOP leader has asked the House Freedom Caucus to present their offer to the House Republican Conference in a closed meeting this morning. McCarthy did not see the offer as viable. So, note, this is the whole thing about Republicans don't want McCarthy to be speaker, and there's a couple of people holding out. And there's enough of them that, the Republicans could change leaders and go with somebody even more moderate and gang up with Democrats, which the 5 or 6 guys that are holding back would really not like. So what was in their offer? The offer included subcommittee chairs for HFCers, specific committee assignments for more than a dozen HFCers before the vote, and the HFCers being these people that are holding back, the ability to control church committee with demand and budget be bigger than January 6th committee. Critically, conservatives led by Perry wanted amnesty, no retaliation after this entire negotiation with McCarthy. Their goal to show just how steep their asks were last night. That is incredibly interesting. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on the whole vote for speaker in Congress. Some real political intrigue going on there that could really dramatically affect the next few years. All right. So back to the open in the treasuries. In the 30-year, though, this is turning into full-on buy and is breaking the highs. And I am seeing like some really extreme flattening in the curve. This music is making me go insane. This. So, it's super hype music, right? It makes you want to do something. I like it though. I was super, I was super hesitant to turn on, super hesitant to turn on music, but we did it, and I do think that it was better in the end. Okay, so if I switch this or refresh list of sources, let's try and do that left. So does this, let's see if I can do the zoom correctly now. No, what's the source here? Left. Display one. It's definitely turning bullish, man. I really, really want to figure this out. Why is it not? Control Shift Z, Control Shift X. So weird. I think the script is screwed up because it says the zoom source is left. Does that if I just let it be any zoom source? See, when I do that, doesn't follow. Not until I come over to this other screen, which is kind of weird. So weird. Well, maybe if I like, oh, actually, let's do it. Let's just reload. Nope. I guess I just have to do it like this. At least for today. Maybe if I restart Ninja Trader, it fixes it. Okay, well, the liquidity looks a little bit better. If we thought that this was going to turn super bullish today, 3.75 is as good a spot as any. Spreads are still a little bit wide for me. It's been like that for a while. So they bring it in. They're like, okay, Seth, we would really like you to trade, so let's we'll bring it in for you. So I want to note there was some pretty decent buy volume when they came through. I'm gonna say the 30 area. There was like an iceberg. Since then, for the last 8 minutes or so, it's kind of been flat. So it's kind of hard to say that this is like a super strong meta order that's just going to keep going up. I'm not even sure what could be driving it. Over here in the E-mini, note what's going on over here. They've risen up, but it's blank over on this side, and there's like big absorptions on these sides. So that's curious, but that kind of suggests a passive bid up in the market. We are seeing fairly strong increase in cumulative delta in the S&P 500 overnight overall too. So I guess I never came back through here on Twitter. Former Fed's Dudley, a U.S. recession is pretty likely because of what the Fed must do. If there is a recession, the Fed could end it by easing policy. Have I missed the first retail traders? No, I haven't ranted much at all about any of that. Okay, so a little bit of a sell that was quickly recovered there in the Treasury. They're definitely doing some interesting stuff here this morning. I'm not sure that I have an edge here, but I think that there's something going on. I'm not sure if it's like a large meta order and it's going to trend one way. It kind of looks more like a battle. There are, Lucas. I don't know what to do about it. I think that after I started getting mad at them over the break, that they kind of pulled back a little bit on the TA stuff, but I don't know. You know what? I've been doing a lot of thinking about hierarchies lately, just because that's what TikTok has always got you going on, and so kind of one of the big things that I saw that really interested me. Well, kind of looks like maybe it's like it's so close. They haven't taken it yet, but it kind of looks like that they might go for the high. Anyways, it was this video where this girl who was autistic, I think it was saying like, why do people hate me? Basically, there was like, I'm not doing anything mean or wrong or whatever, and they just hate me for absolutely no reason. And in the comments of that TikTok, there were so many people saying the same thing, like autistic people. And they thought, because the only explanation that was presented in the thread was there was a study that showed that neurotypical kids will pick up on that a kid is not neurotypical within the first 5 minutes, and they subconsciously will reject that peer, just because they're autistic or whatever, right? And some people were saying, well, it's because like that's how like dominance hierarchies work is that they say, oh, they think they're better than you because there's clearly something wrong with you, right? And this is also why it's like if you say something direct, then they don't like it because they think, oh, this person thinks that they're better than me and that they're higher than me in the dominance hierarchy, right? So when I'm coming in and I'm looking at things going on in Discord, I kind of have been thinking a little bit along those lines. It's like, oh, they want to come in and post, I'm in a trade and this is what's happening, in case it does well, because they think that doing well will increase their position in the dominance hierarchy, right? It's the same thing that we come back to with the stream, where it's like, you know, people really care about social proof, which is not really what you want to go on in futures. So it's not a very reliable way of figuring out what to do. But they're looking for that social proof to see where people are in the dominance hierarchy, right? They do it for acceptance. Yeah. Is this the same thing with like some people will act stupid? It's because if they think or if they basically act stupid so that other people will think that they're higher up in the dominance hierarchy, and if you accept that they're above you in the dominance hierarchy, they tend to like you more, right? That's kind of like what the monkey brain wants to do, right? But there's a hack that we know, right? What's the hack that we know? The hack is that the most valuable person is the person that makes everybody around them better, right? You got to come in and say, look, we're going somewhere. We're going to do great things, and we're going to do it together. You're going to help me, right? Person that makes everybody around them better, that's the most valuable person. And that really changes your mindset from how do I browbeat everybody else and prove to them that I'm better, and more towards a cooperative mindset where everybody benefits, right? So the question for me is, how do I do that with people that are completely mesmerized by the technical analysis, right? Because in order for me to really help them with their trading, I feel like I have to convince them that the technical analysis is worthless first, right? I have to convince them that they don't want to mess with that anymore, and only then can I convince them to learn the things that are actually going to help them, you know? I try to avoid that as much as possible, to just teach the correct things, but I don't know. I felt like with Discord that it was kind of getting to the point where it was like, okay, like I tolerate this kind of stuff because, you know, you want to let people figure things out on their own and everything, but it was kind of getting to a point where regulars were kind of losing interest because it was all bullshit, right? So I kind of came in and put my foot in, and I had to get mean, and I didn't feel good about it, but I do think that I did the right thing given the situation. I don't know. This is interesting. But they're not asking for this. You're right. Well, you're right. If people aren't asking for help, then giving them the unsolicited help, they hate it, right? It's kind of hard because to me that doesn't make sense. To me, it's like, no, what matters is that you do the effective thing, right? that you get the job done. I don't give a shit how you feel about it. But apparently, in order to get people to care and make changes, they have to feel right. That down tick looked a little bit more significant. Came down 2 ticks at once. Sam Bankman-Fried expected to enter a plea today in court. Okay. I do believe in meritocracy, though. Right. No, meritocracy is good, but like... So here's the interesting thing with that. Because I've been thinking about meritocracy a lot too, right? So the issue that I see, man, I think it may just be because the Chinese, they must be on TikTok. They're putting their finger on the algorithm somehow, because there is way more stuff on TikTok about like communism. It's really weird. Like if you are super pro markets, you can have success on TikTok, but I only see like 2 or 3 people really having success with that. Meanwhile, if you go on the communist side, just a regular person coming in and asking an innocent seeming question about, well, why couldn't communism work, sort of a thing, will boost you in the algorithm. And I see that, right? But I think that the fundamental problem with communism, and I think it's the fundamental problem with the woke politics that I see today too, and why I'm so diametrically opposed to the woke politics as well, is because in those systems, there's no incentive in the system for people to do well. In fact, the system kind of rewards the people that are lazy to some extent. If you're lazy but you play the system and you happen to have the right intersectionality, then you do well under that system. I don't believe in that at all. You need to have a system that encourages people to do the thing that you want to do. That's the basis of social systems, right? So on the stream, the way that I do that is if somebody is an ass and is really distracting from what we're doing here, then I just get rid of them. And I can get rid of people very quick. We haven't had to do it for a long time, but we have put our foot down before, right? So I kind of do it with the cudgel. But really what we want to have is we want a system that we want a system that rewards people for contributing, right? And the big question is, how do we do that better? Your children's doctors, lawyers, police officers, politicians, accountants, and bosses are going to be products of that system. Well, I don't think it's quite to that point yet. I think at this point that the people that are benefiting from that system are still pretty bright, well-meaning people, generally speaking. It's the ones that are trying to create that system, and or hurt people in that system, are the ones that really should concern you, right? Right. Those are the ones that really should concern you. Because where you really get a problem is like what we have in academia right now, right? Where people that are just completely dead wrong about something get move up through the hierarchy, right? And then they use their power in the hierarchy to keep things that way. So we're seeing that to some extent in quantitative finance. The things that the market microstructure in particular is not like the mainstream economic approach right now, even though like the banks are using it, but the people in academia and economics, they aren't as focused on that. Feels like it's been weeks since you streamed. Well, it has been a week and a half, I guess. It was a Friday, right? Just a week. You know what's great is that I go for a week, I come back. Yeah, 17 viewers. So normally by the peak, we get to 24 to 32 viewers. We don't lose anybody. I don't know if that's because YouTube says, we need to make sure that Seth always has at least 24 viewers. So if he goes below that, then I'll start showing it in people's, front page. So it seems kind of weird, right? And it is. We do know that it is different people too. That's weird about it as well. But those of you guys that have been longtime viewers, you don't miss a beat, right? That says to me that what we do on the stream is helpful and it is beneficial. And if Seth is a little bit weird, that might hurt the stream, and there's only so much I can do about that. But the one main thing I can do to help is to continue providing good, useful content, right? You feel Ace was seeking acceptance? I think so. I do kind of feel like that. Because the thing with Ace was that we were never able to get him on board, right? He didn't. This is the thing that's so frustrating with the trading, is like, if somebody's doing well, you're no way you're going to be able to convince them to do something different or to look at the markets differently. Even if they were like underperforming the index or what they should be, you're never going to convince them to change, right? Seth provides so much value, I feel like I'm ripping him off. No. The thing you got to understand with what we're doing is that we're such a small part of this market that we really kind of have to band together to be effective. Right? We kind of have to share information and band together a little bit, help each other a little bit to be effective. Because of course, like, it's a competitive market and everything, but we're not really competing amongst each other. I mean, you can do that, but I don't think that in most of these thick markets that you're going to be very successful with that. It's better to work together and find real actual edges every day, and compete against the big institution, because the big institution leaves so much money laying on the floor in their wake that you come off as weird naturally. Yeah, so I don't know what things I might do that people would pick up on as being weird. I know that one thing I do that is weird is if I'm uncomfortable, I'm gonna do something about it, right? Like, my eye itches, I'm gonna scratch my eye. If my nose itches a lot. I'm gonna scratch my nose. I clear my throat a lot. Oh, that drives me crazy when I'm trying to edit my videos. It's like, I'll say the line and then at the end of the line. That drives me crazy when I'm editing. I'm kind of here out of habit. You didn't stream last week of 2022, but I still trade all the time while I'm just sitting here in silence listening to the stream. Yeah, which is the way that it should be, right? I mean, that's the way it's supposed to work. I don't know why it's such a habit. And it's probably more of a habit right now because I still feel like I got gunk in my throat all the time. I don't know. Okay, so after a little bit of a pullback there, now pushing the highs here, I'm not necessarily seeing a company volume with it, at least not in the 5 and the 10. We are in the 30, so we're still seeing flattening. That's incredibly interesting. So yeah, the throat clear is definitely one that I do a lot. And like I was saying, it's the other thing is going to be like if somebody asks a question, I might say it in an overly direct way that makes people think that I'm trying to browbeat them somehow, right? Yeah, that was my thought. It got too thin. I lost touch with my read on it, so I moved to ZN. Similar money's not a big deal on that front, but I've got a better handle on the flow than I've had in ZB. I really am starting to think that in terms of like which treasury I want to be trading, that the direction of the spread and the specific trade that I want to make is more important. But so like when we're having these periods of steepening, it kind of sucks to be in ZB, right? And of course, there's been a lot of flattening, but it's been kind of mixed this last year, right? This morning, though, because of the flattening, it's probably loving life in ZB right now. Yeah. I'm still a little unsure what to think of this move. So that breach of the highs kind of looks like a stop run. So you were to the point where market maker losing some money there. So of course it spikes just above it and then comes right back down through. Just kind of funny. But that is not action indicative of informed trading or large meta orders coming through. That's kind of more indicative of market makers playing around. So I'm kind of still sitting on my hands. Really need to read that Nassim Taleb book. So I haven't read all of Nassim Taleb's books, but you know, the important thing to know is that the market is really good at fooling you into thinking that you found a statistical inefficiency when you really haven't. I'm perplexed that a pro platform like CTS T4 doesn't have hotkeys for their DOM. I'm not. Yeah, you have to think about how, like, I think that this is really an advantage for Jigsaw overall, even though it's affected Jigsaw negatively as well, right? You have to think about what incentivizes development on a software application, right? And they're going to put their effort into features that they think are going to bring in more business. And there probably aren't a lot of people making the deciding factor whether or not they have hotkeys. It kind of ends up being something that gets ignored and falls by the wayside, right? With Jigsaw, you know, like, he trades. I don't know how actively he trades now, but he was a trader and he created these things because they were tools that he felt he needed. Just like with my tools for NinjaTrader, my NinjaTrader paid suite, those are all tools that I created because I needed them in order to actually trade. And people wanted them, and so I made them available, right? And so he went and he put in the things that, you know, if you're going to be DOM trading, that he felt were really necessary, like key bindings, even though they weren't necessarily always the things that would bring in the most money. Get a programmable macro keyboard, yeah. Well, you could get something that moves the mouse to a specific place and yada yada yada. I kind of feel like that I've never really used keyboards shortcuts like that. I'd rather I like this little control that you get down here where you can just say, you know, market buy, market sell, put on the best bid, put on the best ask, flat cancel. You know, those are the, if I really need to be fast, those are the things that are there, and I can just have it over there and I'll be just as fast. But So this is kind of interesting action here at highs in the treasuries, given that we're about 10 minutes before the S&P 500 opening. Move limits up down is really comfy with huggies. That might be. Because I've kind of gotten to, there are periods where it's just too volatile and I don't touch it, right? Well, we were talking about 3.75 at one point. I feel like that's a really strong move to have only made 10 ticks on it. Also, when we kind of had that pullback, the spread started steepening back up, so we kind of got some odd dynamics coming through here. Be a little bit tricky, I think. We did see a gentle rise in cumulative delta by about 5K in the 10-year, though. Wow. The former CBOE headquarters, trading pits, and offices are converting to residential, along with other changes on South LaSalle Street corridor. That's interesting. It seems to me like the treasuries should have a very difficult time maintaining their momentum above 113 even, unless there is a really strong meta order coming through, which I'm still not too sure about. So I suspect that 113 may become a high volume node. So just note right now, it's actually like the lowest volume price in here, but I'm starting to think that 113 may become the point of control for this session. The way things are going. See, there's the throat clear. Was working really hard to suppress it, and I feel like I need to do it. Is it because I just tend to have, you know, a lot of mucus in my throat because of allergies and stuff? You need well, I do keep up on my working out. I'm not super hardcore like it used to be, but I definitely stay in shape. And I do take a multivitamin. But I have allergies. I think it's allergies. Like, it's come down a lot, but you know, like when I wake up in the shower, I'll cough up and it's just this big white loogie. I know that's gross, but I have allergies. It never goes away. Yeah, see, they're starting to do it at 113 now. Pajama traders need to be fat. Well, I got like a love handle, but I'm not. I don't know what level you put me at. So based on my height, I think they consider me overweight, right? Because I'm still 73 kilos. I think I'm a little bit lighter than I was, but I'm typically around 75 kilos. Which would be, what, 165 pounds? So 160, 170 is like really heavy for me. Yeah. Well, it's interesting that like really strong guys don't necessarily look all that special. Because you associate like somebody being really strong with that like bodybuilder ripped look, and they're only able to attain that by like dehydrating themselves. So once you get, you know, the water in you and everything, it doesn't look like that. Maybe when I'm thinking that, I need to just take a sip of water. Then I need to clear my throat. Ooh. That was a bit of a sell there in the treasury. Did something come out? Hold on. Wow, how are you able to go from 62 to 81 kilos? What? That's insane. It would be so difficult for me to get to 81 kilos. I think it's possible, but I would have to be doing like a full bodybuilding setup and eating a ton. I'd have to put all of my focus into increasing my weight. I'd have to, like, it would stop trading so I can sleep in and get more rest and all these things. It would be so hard for me to get, but it's also really hard for me to get below 70. I have to be pretty strict on my diet to get below 70. This is some interesting things going here in the treasuries, because there was a take on the sell side down to like 31, and they just bounce right back up here. Half a kilo of chicken breast daily and 2 hours of gym 4 days a week. Yeah. I don't know about 2 hours of gym. I don't think I would need that much time, but it would be more of the food. I'd have to eat so much more food than I have the attention span for. So this is interesting. They must be doing this because the S&P 500 is getting ready to start. By the way, some pretty significant movement to the downside here just before the S&P 500 open as well. So bears maybe putting us on notice. Something that I find really, I think it's kind of the fun thing about our world, or where we're at rather, is that there's lots of things that you can do that would help you, or that would be good for you, and which ones do you focus on the most? I don't know. This is why I find the information that we have about market microstructure so useful, because it kind of gives a strong suggestion about what's the best direction for you to look, right? There's a lot more edge available in the informational inefficiencies, because the statistical inefficiencies are so strict. They're so hard to find. The market is just so statistically efficient. All right, here we go. We are going to get a Canadian manufacturing PMI and then S&P manufacturing PMI in 15 minutes. So here we go. Well, a lot of trade there in a very narrow range. Sellers looking to win out at the moment. Continuing the downside that we had just before the open. And treasuries coming back down to test the lower end of their range. No momentum on it. So something that you got to watch for here in the S&P 500 is that people really set themselves up like their whole gear off of this. There is some flows that come through at the beginning of the year, like in the treasuries. Man, the treasuries in particular, there's so much more activity in January than any other time of year. So what can happen here is you might have a bunch of people coming in and just, meeting each other in the middle at the beginning. But then as things go along, you're going to find that one side is clearly stronger than the other, right? So, it might be like this for the first maybe even 30 minutes, only to find out that there's a buyer that's just so immense, So I wouldn't count anything out here at this point. Is I guess what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I feel like I have to clear my throat, and then I don't even know if I'm actually clearing anything out. So weird. I need to do some research on this. So this is our New Year's task is to figure out why Seth clears his throat so often and have it happen less. You know what else we need to do is we need to decide what the next video we should do is. Oh man, there's so many things going on. I'm gonna pull that up. When I look at some of the video ideas that I have written down here, some of them are like, I don't really feel interested. So like one I have here is help tips or routine tips. I don't really feel interested in doing that right now. Have one planned video is macro. So I've been doing some work on that, and I think that we might be able to make a video about macro stuff. How much money do you need to day trade? Maybe that's the one that I should do next. That would be kind of simple. Okay, so the S&P 500, after quite a bit of selling there, had a huge quick spike up. It's kind of hard to sort what it's doing cumulative delta wise throughout all of this. It's still like net negative since the open. And the treasury is just moving around a lot. Some absorption below 31 though. I guess that really does mean, though, that we're going to have a lot more opportunity this year to make more research-based videos about current market happenings, yeah? And then I got a bunch of stuff about... So one of the things I want to do this year is make a new machine, and, you know, we could make a video about that. But over the Christmas break, I watched the hardware really closely and took a really good look at what I would want. And I'm not so sure that at the moment is the best time for me personally to buy hardware. So like the big thing is that if I wanted to go for the new generation of AMD hardware, that's AM5 socket, I'm not too impressed with the motherboards that are out there. You're either, there's the cheap boards that don't really have a whole lot of connectivity in them. And I would like to have more USB ports, and I would like to have USB 4 ports on them. I'd like to have Thunderbolt ports on them. And the motherboards will say that they have the support, but they don't have the ports on them, which like is really perplexing to me. I think that what I need is like they make like a creator motherboards that just have like a lot of connectivity on them is their main selling point. But they're kind of expensive. But I think I'd kind of would have to wait for one of those. So it kind of sounds like it would make sense for me to wait at least a quarter before building a new PC. So I don't think that that will be in the cards. We might be able to make a video about the desk. That desk is taking so long. As all is said is done, it's probably going to be like a year from when I started. So, for the desk. Would like to get that done with, though, because the child will just sometimes really wants to get in here, and I'm okay with when he messes things up on the desk, but when he messes things up on the computer, it drives me crazy. Yeah, get a mobile with lots of PCIe. So I think that when these motherboards are saying that they have USB 4 support, but they don't have any kind of controller on the motherboard or anything like that, I think what they mean is if you put a USB 4 PCI Express card in there, it'll work. I think is what that means. There I go again. What graphics card? So I was looking at a 3060. So I was looking at that this weekend too, because my uncle, who I've been building the desk with, you know, he's building a new machine for music production, and he wants to get into video editing too. And He showed me one video that showed that the 4000 series of video cards did have markedly better performance in DaVinci Resolve. And one of the things that drives me nuts right now is that if certain things that I want to do in Resolve, like when I do text on the screen, are really hard to do because my card is so old. Usually means they have an open printed circuit on the board that's connected to the South Bridge controller. You need to solder the okay. All right, I ain't gonna solder anything on my motherboard, so would be a pointless thing to point out if that's what it's about. But at the same time, I don't know if the Thunderbolt really matters to me or not. I think that having a Thunderbolt audio interface at some point in the future would be good, but right now, though, I use like all of the USB ports on my machine, so including the front. Like the camera is plugged into the front. So when we switch over to the new desk, given the new desk setup, we have to change some of that. I'll just have to get a longer USB cable. Ooh, there the ES goes. That's looking mighty impressive. Although that's still just getting to 3900, so. Anyways, so I was looking at a 3060. I don't think that I want to go any unless I get a 1660. I don't think I want to go any lower than a 3060. But what I could do is I could get a 1660 right now, because that would go in the machine, and that would be better for this machine if I turn it into like an editing machine. Like the plan is, well, I'm not exactly sure what the plan is. ARC 770, what is that? Oh, that's the Intel graphics. Yes. Intel graphics would be interesting. So what was I gonna say? So one plan is that the machine that I'm on now becomes the creator PC. So that would be a machine that my wife could do more craft stuff with. So she was doing her cutter thing. Oh man, I wish I could show you because I don't have the sticker here. I put a sticker on in the back window of the car because it's really hard to tell which white van is yours. There's like 20 in the parking lot, so we put a little sticker on the back. We put in we printed out the Nerve logo from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I was like, that's pretty intricate. I don't know if that's gonna work. Did it like a champ. It's so high resolution. It was so perfect. It was just so perfect. And then she made her own too, which was a lot of work for her to figure out, but she made her own too. And I think that part of her difficulty was that the machine was a little slow. So I think that we take this machine, we just move this desk over there or something like that, and it'd be her creator PC, or put this down in her craft room. And if that was the case and she ever got into video editing, then having the 1660 would probably be beneficial, right? But I've been looking for 3060s. In fact, let's come and search and see if we got anything good on auction today. Coming up, rather. There was one that looked really good that I just completely missed, but Problem is, I find the range that these are going for on eBay to be really crazy too. Some of them are going for 400. So here's one that has 2 hours left and it's going for 200. 400. That one's 400. Here, but then here's one that is 267. So like, what the heck? Here's one that's 250. I'll follow that one. Man, they all end at the same time today. I want the longer one with the, wow, $500. Nobody's gonna bid on that. Good grief. I'd prefer one with 3 fans. I mean, I could go all out and get like a 4090 or something, but meh. I'd rather save the money up and put it into some stocks, build up my stock portfolio. Kind of been feeling like water cool it, yeah. Also, another one of the ideas, because I think with the desk that we're gonna build, I'm gonna try and make a place for rack mount in it. So it won't be rack mount initially, but then at some point in the future, we find a rack mount case that allows me to do water cooling in it. Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. I didn't even, I mean, the news squawk told me the number, but I didn't even register on my mind. 46 spot 2 versus 46 spot 2. So it was just in line. The reason that it would be that I would probably want to do water cooling if it was a rack mount case is because for a rack mount case, they tend to have like really loud fans with what comes in it. So in order to make it quiet, it would probably be easier for me to water cool it and just have a radiator at the front. Now, because the machine that I have right now is very, very quiet, right? And that matters. And if I'm going to give that up, I need to. But, you know, it's kind of, it ends up being like little things that I'm like, I really am to the point with my computer setup where when I'm, you know, trying to improve things, like we're really optimizing here, right? So one of the reasons that I want the rack mount is because we're trying to create a desk that all of the cords are safe, that there's no way that the child can get to any cords. So one of the problems with doing that is, what do you do with the UPS? And if we have a rack to do rack mount stuff, I can get a rack mount UPS, right? So that's kind of the big driver behind it. So get a rack mount, get a 3U rack mount case. But then with a 3U rack mount case, you're gonna, if you have your power at the back and you have your motherboard at the back, then you have this huge area in the front that's not being used by anything. But you also have these problems with the airflow coming through it, because you can't put as many fans in the back as you can on this machine, right? So that's why it makes sense to go for water cooling, because for the water cooling, you can just put a radiator out in the front. see what I mean. Let's go look. So I don't really know what my options are in terms of rack mount cases. I don't think that I want to go. I just bought like a new. I want to continue using this case for now. Tell you what, the treasuries, they got hit back down to 28.5, but they bouncing right back up here pretty quickly. Oh wow, it's giving me lots of notifications. Things that they want me to buy. The 3080. Okay, so we want components. Oh, come on. Server chases, right? Get it made from one of those streams and making some now. See, a server mount case can be a little pricey, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is enough. Oh man, they don't. Oh, there you go. Yeah, see how. So usually, what you get is you see those two fans right there. Those are usually like these high-powered fans that go really, really fast, but they're super effing loud. Like data centers are loud. I think I would do like a 3U or a 4U rack mount case, but whole thing is I don't really need the hot swap drives. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, see, I don't want that's your only cooling. So the main reason to rack mount it is to be able to get all of the cords hidden. So I'm building a desk that's going to have a cableway in behind the desk that you can hide all of the cords in. So the cables should be able to go from the PC into the cableway, right? And the thing that's kind of holding that back is the UPS. I think that the UPS and the PC can fit in the space I'm going to make, but to make it all nice and everything, it'd just be better to have it be rack mount. So I'm just going to make a spot for it to be rack mount, and then at some point in the future, I'll add them. And that'll also help when I get to the point where I want to have a separate or multiple machines for doing like back testing and infrastructure and stuff like that. What do you mean by ITX UPS? Well, mine is not too different from that. Just keeps it all nice. So once you start getting a ton of hardware, it's like a mess. If you can stack them on top of each other, it's a lot better use of space. Wow, the 10-year it was not a new high, but they got right up there pretty quick. And man, the S&P 500 turned to the downside awfully quickly. Yeah, man. I don't know if that's too big of a deal yet, but the sell was like I was saying that maybe after 30 minutes, you might find that one side is clearly stronger than the other. Yep, they're really bad at airflow wise. So let's see here. Rack mount case, gaming, airflow, water cooling. Let's see if there's something that makes sense. Yeah, the board needs airflow too. Because it probably is. There's the proto case. Oh, jeez. This is like $1,700 just for the case. Do you notice that this is every time that they stack above 113 that you get a bunch of liquidity stacking there? It's like not the first time. It did that the first time that we got above here too. They're still kind of in a mode where it looks like it's hard for them to sustain activity above that. You would have expected a slower start. I don't know. There's always activity here on the day. It's just, it's kind of hard to get an edge in it, right? See, I don't really have anything at the moment that really strongly suggests to me one side or the other. I am kind of favoring the long side in the treasuries at the moment. I'm not 100% sure why I feel that way. But you can see here that you're not getting paid that much for it, at least not yet. Yeah, well, so what I've found, Lucas, is the first day there's always stuff. The first day there's a bit of a fight. I'm gonna bet that the next 2 days are gonna be a little bit iffy. And then there's the Friday, and then after the Friday, then things really pick up, right? But that, I think, just kind of suggests that next week is going to be real crazy, right? There must be some structure in the options at 3,900, because it really looks like it was like 3,900 was flatly rejected. Well, here's the one that looks a little bit better. So here, this one's got a spot for your radiator, and then it's got a spot for your fans at the front. No, it's 360 bucks. Yeah, see, it's you can't get above 113 without there being like an aggressive pushback. 120 fans, I think so. I didn't look that hard. Kind of seems that if it allows for fans in the front, I can just get quiet fans and make it work. Oh man, this thread that I'm reading here on Reddit about a quiet rack mount fan is like 7 years old. Can you believe that? Oh, Silent PC has some stuff. No. I think the radiator would get cooled with the cold air coming in from the front, but everything else would kind of have already warm air, right? But I'm just saying, like, oh, sure. I don't know if that's really a huge deal. So what I'm saying is, you might be able to get something where you have the fans in the front here, and those are pulling air in, and then you can just have a regular air cooler and the video card will be here. And then you'd have these you'd still have the small fans in the back as exhaust, but you just have to find small, quiet ones. Every time that it comes up there, I'm like, maybe I should be in this. Maybe I should be long from here, yada, yada, yada. And then it comes back down like, I don't want to mess with that. Yeah, the Noctua fans are pretty good. There are some other fans that are just as quiet, but they're not able to make them quite as cheap. And those sellers pushed through a couple of decent blocks too, so. Let's come back over to here. We want for you. Yeah, Lenny says, but that was one of the things I was saying earlier, is that the case that he has costs him $1,700. Can you believe that? So see here, they have 2 fans on the front. This case is not the full length that a usual server case is, or it's not the full length of the rack. Yeah, it's just a still box. I agree, it is ugly. Let's see, like, so the thing here is this one. So like, here's the Roswell, is the first one that comes up for me. But the Roswell is built for having all these drive bay in the front, which I don't really care about. I just want the front to be all fans. The other thing is, I could get the rack mount and just rack mount the just get a rack mount power supply and still have my desktop not rack mounted. Man, they get expensive real quick, don't they? So at first I was like, when I'm clearing my throat, is there any actual reason behind it? But no, there is. So maybe I need to look for solutions for why do I have so much, when I'm dealing with my allergy, so that I don't always feel like I got something in the back of my throat. Yeah, the closest to what I'm looking for, I think, is this one. But even that might not necessarily be what I want. Because I want like 3 fans in the front. Yeah, Roswell's website sucks. $620mm fans. There's one. It's the 4500 U4U server. Just get an open case. There you go. Oh, there you go. That's what I want. Yeah. Wait, how is there 8 fans in that? So if there's 3 in the front, 3, 2 in the back, there must be some halfway. Kind of looks like this is my only choice. Also, the width of it isn't right. I thought that rack mounts were 24 inches wide. And this is 16.8 wide. So wait, if I come back and I get rid of the form factor, just remove all of my, there's 10U, what? What does a 10U look like? Oh geez. $4,000. Wow. Wow. Nope, it still looks like that's my only choice. Okay, Roswell. 229. Ooh, I think that's a project. I think that we get this built, new machine built, and then we work from there. So one of the things that you'll do in engineering a lot that can really screw you up is over engineering it from the beginning, right? It's better to do a few little things that you know are the most important, and then look at where you're at and reassess, because by that point what you think is the priority may change and stuff. Well, I was saying 113 even would become a point of control. 113.00 half turned out to be more to the volume, but it didn't overcome this amount down here at 112.30. Kind of curious. S&P did fall a bit more. So if I come back to the volume profile here, it's still kind of like not too, still kind of at meh levels. So let's see. I think we're in a pretty big range. Like, in order for it to be like a break of the range that technical traders would consider significant, I probably need to get below 3,800, right? Ninja Trader didn't like that. Oh, by the way, let's pull up that video. Oh, I don't have the thumbnail set on it. Oh, let's fix that. I do not like the one that it chose for me. I can't believe I forgot to upload it. Let's fix that. I chose the dumbest thumbnail for it too. Oof. So apparently Tesla is down 10% right now. Wow. Like, after all of the beatings that it's had lately, for that to get 10%, that's something else. Okay, here's the video. Here's today's video. Man, when I search for, like, you know, silent rack mount computers, all of the things that it keeps giving me are like 9 years old, like threads from 2008 and stuff. Oh wow, the silent PC review guys, they haven't done anything since 2015. So what I need to do is I need to say only from the last year. Oh, here's some. "15-inch deep, 17-inch deep, 20-inch deep." I think I would want 20-inch deep. Like this one right here. That looks nice. Well, it looks better at least. Put colored fans in it, it'd probably look pretty cool. Oh, and you can even get them with different colors. I think I would just do black though. Maybe white. Sounds like Sliger is the way to go. Treasury's still sitting there right at 31. It's been when did we first touch that 31? Well, we started basically there, went down and then back up within the 15 minutes. So we've basically been in this range the entire trading day. I'm glad I didn't try taking any trades. Because the treasuries don't seem very active today. Oh, look, here's a case from Sweetwater. That's interesting. Stylish. Oh, I like that. It's kind of built to look more like your audio rack mount hardware. Oh, maybe it is just a rack mount for a power supply or something. Still, that's cute. No, not impressed. Here's another one that's not bad. Not the same price. I like the front of it better. That looks pretty sweet with the fans behind it. I wish I had looked at these the other day because I was putting together plans for like how big I needed to make things, and I probably made it too big because the numbers that I had was 24 inches wide. And these are 17.32 wide. Okay, the treasure's falling down to 27 now. That's a big change. Oh, I see somebody. There's a little bit of grabbing there in the micros at 3.76. Oh man, that fall down hard. Now it's actually getting interesting. Something going on here. Okay, yes, there is. Okay, so the 6J kind of peaked and is turning down a little bit more aggressively here. We did see a drop in Bitcoin, and we're seeing some odd behavior in the dollar, maybe the dollar reversing here. Oil's still in a range, but it looks like the whole complex, the whole treasury complex, like turned down there. Did I miss something? That kind of take at 3.76, I kind of wish I had done that. But I wasn't paying attention, so I don't think that I could have even, gotten it. And it might touch again too. We could just fill in right there. Okay. Can't have a gap like that in there. Now the book looks correct, right? Dan Crenshaw just said HFC members opposing the GOP leader are unproductive and have no plan. The rank and file seems actively annoyed at the Biggs crowd per a few sources. Yeah, there's drama. There's drama over there in the Republican Congress. You know, I don't blame those guys that are pushing back though. I mean, like the way that they're set up, it's basically like they can't change or do anything. Justin Amash, hey, make me house speaker. Okay. The S&P 500 is starting to range back and forth in this area, but what the treasuries are doing is a little bit more interesting. We could get 3.77 now. I think that that's going to have to be by benchmark, although maybe a little, I don't know. Man, why did it sell so hard? This is about 8,000 contracts, kind of out of nowhere. Larry, I'd like to know if you can review some. Well, I could look at it, but I actually have a video. Excuse me, Larry. I have a video on this channel about how to add a button to a chart. So I would go and find that video, and I'm gonna bet you that if you watch that, that it'll be able to help you find the bug. I'm not surprised though. Okay, so 3.77 is looking really good right now, isn't it? I don't need that there anymore. It kind of looks like the liquidity is just moving up. I don't think that, so I'm gonna do something a little scary here. If I put a bid at 3.775, yeah, other people try and jump in front of me, they don't hit it. Anyways, the whole thing, you got to remember this, that Chat GPT is based on like text prediction, so it doesn't write correct code or anything like that. So it doesn't surprise me that it does that. But I have the video that tells you all of the programming concepts and everything that you need to be able to do that. So I would just go and look at that video and or copy the code from that video, because it's not that complicated. That is okay. So what I'm seeing right there is a small little opportunity here on the treasury. I'll do put a stop limit there below. They're definitely iceberging right there at the low. Okay. Oh, it hit. Oops. Need to switch it to a limit order. Only looking for the tick on this. Does the Dixie have dog shit liquidity? I guess I'm not surprised because it's not on the CME, but man, I'm really I'm really, really curious about why we sold so hard there. There wasn't any economic news. Oh, did I get filled? Oh, I did get filled. Ah. I was lucky because it came back the other way. Yeah, so it's coming back there. Ah, like it. Really started about 10 minutes ago. The Great British Pound USD snaps back higher as yield declines. Technicals push the pair back higher. It does look to me that like this could be a currency driven move, because the dollar has been kind of like bouncing higher through this whole bit. Earthquake tracker. Oh no. There was that earthquake in California. We could get something here in Utah. I hope. Last time we had that earthquake, even though it was a small one and everything, that was not fun. Let's not do that again. So there was a decent pullback there, but it was the kind of like liquidity hole kind of suck back. There may still be some trend down in this. Kind of, I think, will depend largely on what the 6J decides to do, though. UK DMO, we are to sell 3 billion of new 3.25% 2033 gilts on January 10th via auction. That could do it, maybe. Is that not that unexpected? Is 3 billion that big of? No, I don't think the 3 billion would be that big of a deal. Okay, so they're just saying Scott Perry is up to speak. So all this drama in the House is like going on as we speak. Oh boy, Jordan Peterson, what does he have to say? Direct consequence of abandoned legislative responsibility on the part of our cowards in office, as well as the leftist insistence on activist court appointments. Don't expect rulings by English common law precedent anymore in Canada. Yeah. So the Canadians are complaining about that Congress doesn't do anything too, huh? I saw this this thread on Reddit, oh, the Republicans are going to do all of these investigations. Don't let them get away with it. It's like, Congress can't do anything but investigate things now with the logjam that you have. It's just like investigate things and then rubber stamp whatever bill gets put in front of you on the last day of the year. That's all they can do. What else are they gonna do? There's nothing to do. Of course they're gonna investigate. Chip Roy is still not a hard no McCarthy, but doesn't seem optimistic about the progress of things. I'll just say that meeting didn't do a lot to give me comfort about the need to change the status quo in this town. They may just be stuck in a liquidity hole here in the 10-year. We definitely, with the way that moved and everything, I think that we definitely have to consider that there could be a large meta order being executed and that we're currently in the whole portion of it, and that, you know, sometime around, well, it'll be after we're gone, like 9:15, maybe 30 minutes from now, it starts turning down further. I'm sitting here like maybe 11:15, but the 5-year was actually kind of touching a little bit lower there. It could chase it. I don't know. It doesn't seem. In the larger scheme of things, I guess it's not too big. Oh, actually, how big was it? We were from like 7.4, 7.8. So I guess 40 ticks isn't bad. Definitely something going on. Barry's general gripe about McCarthy in the meeting is that he supported spending bills over the years. The politics right now is super interesting because I feel like that things are going pretty bad for Democrats. Despite that, the Republicans aren't really able to capitalize on it, and I think it's because they've made some pretty poor choices in the past that they're gonna have to deal with. And I'm the biggest one is the spending. Like you have to be the party of lower spending or it's just not, you're not going to last very long. Oh no, there may be a problem with Wednesday, the series, season 2. Don't care. Don't care. It makes me laugh, is all. I need to clean this mouse pad. It's not quite as slick as it used to be. Yeah, it's kind of threatened to go lower a few times, but it still looks like they're really stuck in a hole. Oh, uptick. Okay. Was there volume behind that? Well, there is some recovery volume coming into the 10-year. Yeah, this really is moving in tandem with the Japanese yen, so that's not necessarily my favorite trade. You know, I've done okay off of those currency movements, but I much prefer when we're just getting strong volume coming into the treasuries and everything. I would say liquidity is looking a little bit better than it was this morning, so that's good. Maybe by next week we could have some strong liquidity and maybe even be putting 2000s up again. You know, possible. That's a little encouraging. Let's come back over here to some of our charts. I just want to point out a few little things here. So we're looking at the spreads here. Spreads are still flattening, right? And then I come back up here to the dollar. So there you see the dollar. They had a big move up like earlier, right? And then for most of our session, it was falling, and now there's kind of been a retracement. So all of this movement has definitely been correlated with some shifts in the currency flows. Don't see any news or anything, but there definitely seems to be something going on there. Over here in the S&P 500, we're getting, or we did at one point have some pretty decent downside momentum. And look at the cumulative delta is just down. So the bears are definitely having their moment here this morning and definitely won out. So it's kind of like what I suggested, right? They'll fight it out for the first 30 minutes or so, but then you might find that one side is just clearly more powerful than the other. Whoa. Okay, so the treasury's already coming back down here again, huh? Jeez. And yeah, some retailer traders getting taken out here in the micros. If it wasn't like 5 minutes before it to go, I wouldn't. I mean, if I put an order there and they filled me, it'd be okay, but I think I'm just gonna disable I had my account enabled for a second, and I'll just disable it there. Got to be careful, because sometimes what'll happen is when you've created that hole, so they'll try and shove it out of it, and then they'll just get sucked right back into it. So that move kind of makes it look like it's going to trend down, but if this continues to trend down, then I really think that there's something going on that we don't understand, like probably the currency stuff, but that's not in line with what your typical meta order would be. I suppose it could also be that the seller decided to just go right in because somebody bought it up so much. So for them to come back into the hole that they had, they need to come back up to 23, 24-ish, right? Oh, there you go. Huh? Seth, does Seth have it? Did I call that one or what? I think given the situation, that saying that came out there and betting that it would come back to 23, 24, you're only talking like 4 ticks. And it's a little bit of a risky trade, because if you're wrong, it's really gonna move against you, right? Like there's something really going on. So I don't know if that was a trade that made sense from a risk reward perspective, but from that's the behaviors. They can get sucked back into the liquidity hole, and it had not been long enough for the hole to recover. So worked well that time, at least. It's hard because we don't have any kind of fundamental catalyst going on here. There's definitely a reason why it's moving here, but I do think that it has more to do with the currencies and that we are not in the know. So, but I think that's a good place to leave it. Want to make sure you guys have I have a video about NinjaTrader 8 tips. So I appreciate it if you guys go and watch that video, give it a like and some comments and stuff. Even if you don't use NinjaTrader, go watch it and say like, oh, this is why NinjaTrader sucks or it doesn't suck or whatever. Helps this channel out. And that video could be a big one. So anyways, it's gonna be tough trading next 2 days. Just keep that in mind. And then we got the non-farms Friday, which is going to be like not so crazy. So I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay excellent, team.